Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, we're basically going to be talking about why you aren't improving in Fortnite, whether it's you're spending 10 hours a day grinding and you're not seeing tournament improvements or you're not seeing mechanical improvements. Whatever the case is, we're basically going to be discussing it and talking about it today. And before we get into that, I just want to quickly say thank you for all those who have been supporting me and commenting on the videos, liking the videos, watching the videos. It all really does mean a lot to me. Also, for those who don't know, I am doing a one-on-one coaching right now. I probably will close the entries in a bit here just because right now we have quite a bit of people who are all signed up. And basically, if you guys want to know some information about that, check the video in the description and then contact me if you have any further questions, but please do watch the video before. But yeah, basically, if you guys are looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get right into the video. So the number one thing that I see a lot of people struggling with is they're putting in tons and tons of time, whether it's in creative, whether it's in arena solos, or whether it's in playing normal solos, and they're not seeing the improvement. They'll be playing 8, 7, 6 hours a day, and for some reason they're not getting any better. Or you could be playing 3 hours a day and just not see any improvement. And the reason for that is you're just working on the same things over and over again. A lot of people, when they hop on, they'll maybe free build for 10 minutes, they'll run one edit course or maybe aim course for 5 minutes, and then they'll basically hop into a game for the next 4 hours and play arena solos. They'll play squads with their buddies, or they'll play solos, or whatever the case is, right? When in reality, if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, yeah, you might be getting better strengths on your overall solos, and you might be able to be a little bit better on like your movement and your ability to know where people are. But if you're not working on your weaknesses, well, then you're not really improving. So for example, if let's say every single fight you die because you have really bad aim, well, if you're not working on your aim, you're not going to improve and you're not going to be able to win more fights. It doesn't matter how many arena solo games you play, but if you're not working on what's making you die, well, then you're not going to improve. Do you keep missing edits in fights? Do you keep screwing up your builds? Well, then you need to work on your edits, or you need to work on your 1v1s, or you need to work on your box fights. Like, you got to figure out what you're doing wrong and what you keep messing up upon, and then fix that and start working on that. Don't just hop into arena solo for 7-8 hours, because you're not going to be working on what you need to actually work on. You're just going to be playing the game. Where a lot of pros have said it, in sports, in Fortnite, in any esports, just playing the game won't make you a ton better. Yes, it will help you overall, but you need to be working on what you're doing wrong and what your weaknesses are to truly start being good. Another thing that I see people doing incorrectly or not spending enough time on is watching your own games. So similar to what I said basically on how you need to be fixing your mistakes and how you need to be like better overall, because if you're just playing the game you're not going to really improve a ton, is you need to be watching for those mistakes. Like, you need to be finding your weaknesses onto what you're dying. So if you just, like, for example, die in arena 6 times and you'd be like, oh, well, I missed my shot here, I missed my shot here, I missed my shot here, and then I missed my edit here, you're going to, in your mind, you're just be like, well, I need to work on my aim. But in reality, when you actually slow it down, go through your own VODs and go through like how you actually died, when you're watching, you can pick out things. Oh, maybe I should have not pushed this fight because there's a potential third party. Maybe I should have pushed to high ground instead of staying low ground. Maybe I should have went through this side of the box instead of this side of the box, right? Like, there's things that you can pick out watching your own gameplay that you wouldn't have noticed just like playing the game, because you're so focused on getting the kill, focused on hitting your shots, focused on third parties, focused on your health, so many other things that you're not able to look at like the big picture. But when you slow down your video by rewatching it over and over again and you're not actually in the moment, you can really see what you should have done in different scenarios. So it's not always like missing your shots, or it's not always missing an edit or something like that, but it's some decision that you could have done before that would have set you up differently to win the fight. So by watching your own gameplay, you can basically figure out if you could have made a better decision here or there. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, well, like, how do I learn to watch my own gameplay? But in reality, all you have to do is watch your own gameplay and think. Like, you got to be like, okay, well, I obviously should have stayed height here. I should have not pushed this guy, right? Like, it's all just about recognizing what you should have done in that scenario by watching your own gameplay. Now my next tip is a huge one, and it's probably one of the most important ones to actually start improving a ton, and it's you need to start practice and doing W keying all the time. Now a lot of you people will play for just placement, just go for the arena points, and sure, if you're getting to champs, it's one thing, play placement, get to champs, then worry about it. But once you get in champs, or once you feel more confident, or you don't feel like you need to be in champs, practice W keying. Everyone plays for placement, and that's a really good play style, because being able to rotate properly and do well in endgames and win the game is huge. But if you can't make it to endgame, because whenever someone pushes you, you die, or whenever you push someone, you die, or you only have placement points, well then you're not going to do extremely well in the actual tournament or like overall games. So what you need to do is you need to start W keying people. Like I said, once you get to champs, or you don't really care about champs or whatever, practice W keying. Land a POI, and literally the second you get a gun and some shield and some mats, go push someone and practice fighting. You die, you die. It's not a big deal. It's a battle royale. You can just spawn back in and play another game. What you need to do is start learning how to push everyone. Yes, maybe you won't play like that in a tournament. Maybe you'll play passive in a tournament. But you need to be able to learn how to win as many fights as possible. Because like I said, you can be the best endgame player in the world, but if you're not making the endgame every single game, because you're dying to some random Joe that pushes you in Salty Springs when you're rotating, well then it doesn't really matter how much time you put into customs or your endgame, right? So what you need to do is you need to start hopping into arena, you have to hop into solos, you have to be able to learn how to win every single fight. Now obviously you're not going to be able to win every single fight. If you win every single fight, you're winning the next World Cup, right? But it's very difficult to win every single fight. But if you can win the majority of your fights, well then you're going to be set up for so much success. Because basically, if you look at any pro player, when they W key or when they do well, they literally have like 8-9 kills, and they didn't even waste time fighting. Like they barely even get close to dying, because they're so efficient and so good at W keying that it's just become a habit to them. It's almost like the average player going for placement. That's how easy it is for pro players to W key. So you need to have the mentality, and you have to have the practice of just fighting anyone in any time, so then you don't die to them when a tournament comes around. The next thing I see that a lot of people struggle with, and they don't really realize it's a bad habit to get into, is not taking small tournaments or like things like cash cups seriously. Now a lot of people might be like, well, there's no prize pool, like I'm not going to win any money, like what's the point of doing it, right? It's just a W key fest, oh, like people play dumb in it. But in reality, every single time, if you have that mindset of, oh, I don't really care about this, or if I start doing bad, I'll just quit and then I'll go play creative or something like that, well then when it comes to an actual solo tournament, an actual realistic tournament, once you start doing bad, you're just going to have that already mindset where you'd be like, oh, well, I don't really care, like whatever, it's a dumb tournament, people are playing stupid, and you're going to start blaming other people instead of yourself, and then you're not going to do well in any tournaments, because you're just going to want to quit and you're going to give up after 2 to 3 games. You have to get in the mentality of even small things like hype nights or cash cups or these duo test events or duo cash cups every single day. You got to play them and you got to try your best in them, because the second you start doing, oh, I'm doing pretty good, or the second you stop realizing that you're not quitting every single time, when it comes to an actual real tournament, well then you're going to do so much better, because you're not going to want to quit. You're going to know that like you can have 2 games left and just get 35 points here. You can get 40 points here by playing really well, having 2 final good games, and not quitting. Overall, it will make you so much more prepared for an actual tournament. And a lot of people say that like things like the cash cup aren't realistic, and that people is just a W key fest and no one really takes it seriously. But in reality, once it comes to a big tournament, like for example, once Solo World Cup or Solo FNCS comes, or something like that, a big solo tournament, or even again the same thing for duo tournaments, the reality is a lot of people aren't going to realize that you should have a different play style. There's still going to be tons of people who play that W key play style, who still go super aggressive, who push really weird pushes because that's all they know. So if you can't get used to it in a cash cup and you can't win these fights in the cash cup, well then how are you expected to win it in an actual huge big tournament? Because yes, a lot of you guys may be like, oh well, this cash cup isn't realistic, everyone W keys. When it comes to the World Cup solos or FNCS solos, people are going to have it engraved in their brain that no matter what happens, they need to practice W keying. So you're still going to get W keyed. It's going to be the same as the solo cash cup. Yes, people will play for placement a little bit more, but it will still be super similar. But that's basically it for today's video, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video. Like I said, if you want to get one-on-one coach, check the video in the link in the description, and make sure you use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.